In this video you will see what happened during the latest air alarm in Ukraine, what to do if there is no bomb shelter nearby, what is an air alarm, and how did the Ukrainians come up with the smart air threat warning system. I know you are very interested in the title of the video, but please be patient, watch this video until the end and then you won't miss anything important. I'm Ukrainian Igor, and on my channel I tell only the truth about life in Ukraine, so let's go. At the beginning, let's understand what is an air alarm. Air alarm is a siren, signal to alert the public about the attack from the air. It's activated in the event of risk of airstrike or missile launch in the direction of populated place or region. An air alert means that air defense forces reporting about movement of enemy aircraft. Even when I am editing this video, there is an air alarm. In fact, I can say from my own experience, it can be any number of reasons. During the war, the air warning signal became an integral part of life of Ukrainians. The entire territory of our country is in a potential danger zone of Russian missile attacks, so sirens often sound even far from combat zones. For example, as it happens to me, because I live as far as possible from Russia, but I also have air alarms and rockets have been hit near my house many times. But I'll tell you about these situations later. So if living in my city is relatively calm despite Russia's shelling, then in my hometown Trostyanets there are constant air alarms. If in my city air alarms are activated during ballistic missile attacks, then in my hometown Trostyanets during an artillery shelling. And I don't even know what's worse, there is danger in any case. Let me tell you what to do during an air alert. After turning on the siren, it's necessary to turn off the water and gas in the apartment, close the windows, turn off all appliances and electricity, take the most necessary things and go to shelter. During evacuation, do not use the elevator, but only go down the stairs. From the time that siren starts to sound to the potential impact, there is approximately 15 minutes to take to the safe place. This is an approximate time and it depends on the place of launch of the rocket, the speed of its flight and other factors. In each city is different. Therefore, you shouldn't measure the arrival time of the rocket, but you need to go to the shelter as soon as possible. Reliable shelters in case of missile attack can be metro stations, specially equipped bomb shelters, basements of buildings and underground parking lots. Such room must have to exist, but usually there is only one way out. But if you decide to stay in the apartment during an alarm, you should use the rule of two walls. Hide in place that is behind the second supporting wall from the facade. This is usually a corridor in your flat. And what do I do during the air alarm? This is a really good question. I can only speak about my city, so listen. I found a cool Telegram channel. It's called a Missile Hazard and led by a person who monitors radars. That is, when missile enters the airspace of Lviv region, then administrator notifies about it. And honestly, I don't even know if there are such channels in the other regions, but it's convenient for me. Because lately air alarms have been announced very often, and not only because of missile strikes, but because of joint military exercises of the Belarusian and Russian armies on the border with Ukraine. And there are not rocket launches until a certain time. And it's too lazy every time, go to the shelter, to the basement, it's inconvenient. By the way, watch my video whether Belarus can attack Ukraine or not. It's here. Usually during an air alarm I sit in my corridor, and when the Missile Hazard channel wrote about a potential threat in our area, then I run to the shelter as quickly as possible. In fact, I wouldn't recommend anyone to do this because it's really dangerous. But I know 100% verified source, so I can, but it's dangerous. And I'm not responsible for any information from the Telegram channels. I just told what I personally do during an air alert. Now I will show you what Ukrainian developers have come up with to simplify the viewing of current air alarms in Ukraine. So this site called Alerts in UA. On this site you can see a map of Ukraine. If an alarm starts, the map lights up in red. Here you can change the background, dark or light theme. And in general, this site is very functional. You can change the language to English, and see when there were last alarms in a separate region. And I didn't tell you this, but now I will. On this map you can see not only air alarms, but also artillery shells, risk of urban warfare, chemical hazard, and even nuclear hazard. Are you surprised? Me too, and I really hope that we will never hear such types of air alarms. And you can also download the app on the phone. You can choose your region or city, and then app on your phone will notify you of an alarm in your area. And I want you to listen these sounds. This is not for faint of heart. As for me, it was a really scary sound. And now, finally, time has come when I will show you what happened during the latest air alarm in Ukraine. I will show you a day when Russia shelled Ukraine. Such alarms do not happen often, but after them there are bad consequences. In general, it was a very good day from the morning. I didn't even know that something bad could happen. But here in Missile Danger Telegram channel, which I told you about earlier, the administrator wrote that there might be an alarm in 2 hours. So it happened, and he warned that probably there would be a rocket launches. After that, of course, I dressed warmly, prepared all the necessary things in case I had to go to the basement, but continued to do my business. Then they announced an official air alert. I sat down in the corridor according to the rule of 2 walls, and after 30 minutes that Telegram channel wrote that everyone in Lviv region should quickly go to shelter. Then I put on my shoes and went downstairs. There is no electricity in shelter because you know that's something that emergency power outages. So it's good that I have a torch. Oh, it's my shelter. It's a little cold there, but I think everything will be fine. But since it was too cold in the shelter, I was in my yard and just walked there. In my opinion, these were stupid actions, but it's really cold in the shelter. And there was a beautiful puppy and I wanted to take a picture of him, but this happened. Just watch. It was both painful and funny. Unfortunately, a few more minutes passed and I received a telegram message on my phone, and then everyone got scared, was ready to go to the basement. I even heard explosions, as it turned out that the air defense system was working. And after that I quickly went to the shelter. In the shelter I heard one more explosion. In fact, I'm very glad that nothing bad happened to me, because there were situations when explosions were louder. And when I will have a little more audience, I plan to show everyone the video that I wanted to show for so long. So please subscribe to my channel so you never miss it. Almost a year of work has already passed, and it can be assumed that people are already used to it. Yes and no. The younger generation takes it easier, but after explosions or news from other cities, people become a little anxious. And even when you are just doing your business or walking down the streets and hear your phone starts to sound a siren at full volume, it's not very positive. Of course, when an air alarm sounds, it's dangerous. But in addition to this, it's very inconvenient. And if you sit in a restaurant, you simply will kicked out from it. Schools, universities stop working, and children need to go to the cold shelters. This is very inconvenient, but I will not complain about this, because the regions bordering Russia suffer such more, but the fact remains. And to be frank, no one is insured. And even if you do everything strictly according to the rules, maybe it won't save you. There are always doubts, because Ukraine was attacked by a terrorist state, and you can expect anything from them, and therefore you always need to be careful in any situations. I want to give an example of the situation in the Dnipro, when a Russian rocket hit a residential building. The basement was crushed with concrete slabs. This is a terrible tragedy for all Ukraine. But this situation is repeated. And what about the use of rockets to the shopping center? There are no safe places in Ukraine, and this fact is extremely stressful. And please write down in comments if you ever heard a siren in a real life. I will be really interested to read. And please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the bell icon and liking this video. You know that most of bloggers turn off notification about subscription, likes, etc. But I don't, because every subscriber for me is important. And I appreciate every of them. You know, when I'm doing routine things and see a subscription notification, it really cheers me up. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great time.